Henyard fired her chief of police late last year without any approval from the village board. So now Robert Collins has filed a lawsuit against the village.
Is there a motion to terminate Keith Freeman?
It's official. Tiffany Henyard's reign as the self-proclaimed super mayor is crumbling before our eyes. Once hailed as a powerful force in Dolton and Thornton Township, her empire is now in ruins. And the latest court loss only solidifies what everyone's been thinking. Her time is up. The writing is on the wall, and the final chapter of her controversial political career is being written right now, with legal battles mounting and the public turning against her in droves.
The legal appointment, that's what the trustees I talked to are calling this. They say the news took them by surprise, and now they're talking to legal counsel to figure out their next steps.
But let's start with the big news that's sending shockwaves across both Dolton and Thornton Township, the devastating court ruling that marks the beginning of Henyard's downfall. This isn't just a small hiccup in her career, it's the tipping point. After years of scandal, questionable decisions, and mounting lawsuits. The recent court ruling against Thornton Township in the case involving Gerald Jones and Keith Price is the blow that Tiffany Henyard simply won't recover from. Now, if you haven't been following all the drama closely, here's a quick catch-up. Gerald Jones, a former township employee, sued Thornton Township, accusing Henyard and her administration of allowing a toxic work environment to thrive under Keith Price, the food assistance program manager. But this wasn't just any lawsuit. The details are messy, full of intimidation, retaliation, and a workplace culture that sounds straight out of a horror movie. And the worst part, Henyard did absolutely nothing to stop it.
So that's one of the reasons I won't know when we go through our board packets. It's like, some of this stuff, it's like you don't know exactly what it's for, and then when you ask a question, there's no answer.
In fact, she let it happen, turning a blind eye as her close ally Keith Price harassed and mistreated employees like Jones. Things got so bad that at one point, there were literal mice running around in the food pantry. And instead of addressing the issue, Henyard allowed the retaliation against Jones to intensify when he reported the health hazard to authorities. Imagine reporting something as basic as a mice infestation, trying to protect the people relying on the township services, and being retaliated against for it. Jones did what any responsible employee would do and went to Illinois' OSHA with his complaint. That's when things really took a dark turn. Instead of fixing the problem, Price reportedly screamed at Jones in front of his colleagues, denied him overtime, and even threatened to take things outside for a physical confrontation. What kind of leadership allows this? Apparently the kind that Tiffany Henyard fosters.
Who would make a one-day purchase of over $40,000 to Amazon? And the main thing is, what is it?
Jones eventually had enough and quit, but not before filing a lawsuit for retaliatory discharge. Fast forward to today, and the courts are not having any of Henyard's excuses. In the latest ruling, they've given the township more time to respond, but it's clear to everyone that Henyard's defense is weak at best. They didn't even have proper legal representation in court, which speaks volumes about the dysfunction happening under her watch. For someone who claimed to have cleaned up the town when she took office, Henyard's administration is looking messier by the day.
I do not handle anything as relates to with credit cards. As you heard me speak today in my board meeting about, I do not handle that.
Some of those charges are for you, though.
No, sir.
Speaking of legal representation, can we talk about how no one from the township even showed up to represent them in this $3 million lawsuit? Not one person. How does that happen? It's almost like they've already thrown in the towel and accepted defeat. And honestly, who can blame them? The evidence against Henyard and her cronies is overwhelming. This is just the latest in a series of legal and ethical missteps that have turned public opinion completely against her. It's wild to think that this is the same Tiffany Henyard who once proclaimed herself the replaceable for mayor and boasted about her ability to lead. At one point, she had the support of her communities, throwing lavish events like the Taste of Thornton Township and paying celebrities tens of thousands of dollars to perform, all while ignoring the very real issues plaguing her administration. But that support has all but evaporated now, as more and more people are waking up to the truth about her leadership or lack thereof. And let's not forget the $3 million lawsuit that's been looming over her for months. It's one thing to have a legal case against you, but it's another to completely drop the ball by not even showing up in court. Tiffany Henyard had every opportunity to defend herself and her administration, but instead, she's been caught playing a dangerous game of negligence. The judge extended the court's deadline to give the township more time, but even that feels like a temporary band-aid on an open wound. The inevitable collapse of Henyard's defense is coming, and it's going to be a spectacle when it does.
I think you should pay everybody. Is it the reason why you guys are not paying whatever that vendor is?
What was it for?
It was for shirts. That's what it's for.
So what does this mean for Henyard's political career? In short, it's over. There's no coming back from this, especially not with the public perception of her at an all-time low. It wasn't that long ago that Henyard was seen as a rising star, someone who could shake things up in local politics. But now, her name is synonymous with scandal, incompetence, and corruption. The court ruling is just one part of a much larger narrative that's been building for years. A narrative where Henyard is the villain in her own story.
Coming in, unfortunately, we knew it was going to be a little messy, but it's just something we felt important that had to be done, that should be done. So, but like I said, just some accountability.
Take the way she handles public meetings, for example. It's no secret that she's had more than her fair share of confrontations with trustees and residents alike. but lately things have gone from bad to worse. In one memorable meeting, Henyard clashed with township trustees over her reckless spending habits. The board had refused to approve thousands of dollars for events like her extravagant Taste of Thornton Township, where she shelled out $30,000 for Keek Wyatt to perform for half an hour. Another $20,000 went to rapper Jay Holiday for an equally short performance. Altogether, this event cost at least $85,000, all while the township is drowning in financial issues and the public is left wondering where their tax money is really going. And you have to wonder if this is how she's behaving in front of cameras, what's going on behind closed doors. One fan put it perfectly in a comment saying, with the way she acts openly in public, knowing cameras are rolling, even arguing with her own attorney. I shudder to think how much worse she is in private. The comment speaks volumes about the growing distrust of Henyard among her constituents. People are fed up, and they're making their voices heard.
Hey guys, it's the Super Mayor, Tiffany Henyard, the People's Mayor and People's Supervisor.
Public backlash isn't just limited to social media comments either. Residents have been showing up to meetings demanding answers and calling for Henyard's resignation. Some are even saying they can't wait for her arrest, as one commenter bluntly put it. The frustration is palpable, and Henyard is doing little to nothing to alleviate it. Instead of addressing the serious issues head-on, she's doubling down, digging herself deeper into a hole that she may never climb out of. What's even more shocking is that while all of this chaos is happening, Henyard continues to live like nothing is wrong. She's flying first class, dining at high-end restaurants, and staying in luxurious hotels, all on the township's dime. According to one investigation, her trips to cities like New York, Austin, and Atlanta cost the taxpayers over $100,000 in just a few months. This kind of extravagant spending while Thornton Township is facing financial struggles is tone-deaf at best and criminal at worst.
Were you?
It's not paid by them.
Did you fly first class to Las Vegas?
Any other questions?
And this isn't just hearsay, it's all backed up by records obtained through public information requests. These documents show Henyard's administration racking up charges at places like the Four Seasons and Ruth's Chris Steakhouse, all while ignoring the pressing needs of her community. People are struggling, the township is in debt, and yet Henyard is living it up on taxpayer dollars. If that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about her priorities, we don't know what will.
No reason for anyone from a township to go to a mayor's conference. A mayor's conference is a mayor's conference for mayors.
As if the spending scandals weren't bad enough, Henyard's also facing multiple investigations into her handling of township finances. Former Chicago Mayor Lori Lightfoot was even hired to look into Henyard's spending habits, and the findings so far are damning. In her preliminary report, Lightfoot revealed that Thornton Township's general fund balance went from a surplus of over $5 million in 2022 to a staggering deficit of $3.65 million by May 2024. That's right, under Henyard's watch, the township lost millions. And where did all that money go? Well, part of it went to things like Amazon purchases $33,000 in one day, to be exact. Who spends $33,000 in one day on Amazon? Apparently, Tiffany Henyard. But wait, it gets worse. In addition to the Amazon spending spree, Lightfoot's report also uncovered serious issues with police overtime pay. 2 officers made more in overtime than their entire base salaries, with one officer pulling in over $100,000 in overtime alone. These are the kinds of financial discrepancies that have people asking what's really going on here.
I'm sure you guys had an awesome time on the backs of taxpayers, but what do we gain from any of these trips? We gain nothing.
It's no wonder that the FBI has reportedly taken an interest in Henyard's activities. There are rumors swirling that she's being investigated for misusing township funds, and subpoenas have already been issued to gather more information. This federal investigation could be the final nail in the coffin for Henyard's political career. Once the FBI gets involved, you know it's serious. And with everything that's come to light so far, it's hard to imagine her walking away from this unscathed.
I am about to address some things as the supervisor. There will be no comments, there will be anything, it'll just be me addressing you guys to tell you what's going on.
So where does this leave us? For starters, Henyard's days as the super mayor are numbered. The court ruling against Thornton Township is just the beginning of her downfall. More legal battles are on the horizon, and with every new scandal that comes to light, her chances of political survival dwindle further. The public is fed up, the trustees have lost faith, and the legal system is closing in. Henyard may have thought she could ride out the storm, but it's becoming increasingly clear that this is one storm she won't survive. The latest court loss is just the start, and as the investigations continue to unfold, more damning details will undoubtedly come to light. Tiffany Henyard has reached the point of no return, and there's no escaping the consequences of her actions now. What do you think? Will Henyard finally face the consequences of her actions, or will she find a way to weasel out of this mess? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more juicy updates on this ongoing saga.